jive with best.
I know you said you tested out lighting and fell in love with it. Was there a particular piece or moment that you found like, oh, this is for me?
Oh, that's a hard one. It's a running joke within our industry that once you get into lighting, you're not getting out. I thought it was this funny thing that was said locally, and then, I realized that no, this is a very national and I'm sure international thing. If you talk to anybody who's in the industry and has stayed in the industry, we all have very different stories on how we got here, but the same thing holds true, which is once you enter into this world, it is likely going to be where you're going to stay. And I don't know what that is. I don't know what kind of draw it has. Maybe it is because it is equal parts technical and artistic. It does allow you to kind of really move both pieces of your brain, and depending on which piece you like to move the most, you can dive right into that side of it.
Yeah, and focus on one thing versus another.
Right. But that's the running joke within our industry. Is like, once you get in, that's it. It's over.
There's so much you can do within, as an architect, interior designer, engineer, to specialize. And I run into a lot of young professionals that are like, how did people specialize in something? How do they know what direction to take? And a lot of the times you just stumble upon it.
That's funny. When I was working on my master's, I remember, one of our professors who was a practicing architect had given that exact advice. They were like, find the niche that works for you. Keep your eyes open for it. Like, you'll find it. It might be there. Don't keep yourself pigeonholed. And I remember sitting there in that classroom thinking, like, how the heck do you even do that? Like, what does that even mean?
What are you talking about?
Right. Like, yes, I understand what you're saying, but how do you even find that to know what it is? It'll find you in an odd way. It's like I said before, you have to pay attention in your early years. You have to try on a lot of things. It's like young children, right? If you're a young parent, basically it's like you put your kids in all these different things, like try soccer, try gymnastics, try basketball, try basket weaving. I mean, like, just try all these things, try them all on, see what fits. And then they usually, gravitate into something. It's kind of the same with our industry. You keep yourself open, try all sorts of things within your firm. Talk to all the different people that are doing all the different jobs in your firm. And you have to pay attention to what resonates. You pay attention to, I like to, at the end of the day, it's like you think about, like, what were those moments during the day that, like, gave you the energy? Like, what were the things that you did during that day that, like, got you going, and then you just try to do more of that kind of thing. And you usually lead yourself into a place you might not think you're going, but you're supposed to go there. So just keep following the breadcrumbs.
Yeah. And like we talked about initially, sometimes there's other forces that just happen. Yeah. I know COVID forced people to realize things about themselves. The recession shifted people around, and sometimes you find your passion when something is a bigger force getting you to shift.
Absolutely. And I think, as humans, we're kind of wired to just kind of like get into the shell when those type of things happen. You kind of prepare and lock in and just hold the line. And I think it's kind of the opposite. Hindsight, through some of the major external shifts that have happened over the course of my career, it actually, you kind of have to look at it like, okay, things are about to shake up, and I don't know how they're going to shake, but let's see where this spits us at the end. Yeah. You have to be willing to see the good stuff that's happening within that crazy time, and know that you might move somewhere you didn't mean to, but probably going to be the best thing for you whenever hindsight finally kicks in.
Yeah, that's great advice. Even going like design and construction, and so much goes with the economy. And so you never know. People get very worried when people talk about recessions are coming, and then young professionals just starting their career like, oh my God, a recession's coming. And they think of 2008. I'm like, well, not all recessions are that extreme. But at the same time, if you're just living in fear of a recession and being let go, it can definitely be hard. But instead just saying, all right, things are going to shake up. What opportunities ahead of me and what's going to happen, I think really pick up people's morale, even if, change can be scary. But sometimes it leads to opportunities like you finding lighting and finding a whole new path that you are having a blast. Every time I see you come into our office, you are bubbling and super excited about everything. So you always bring a cheer.
That's because I get to work with you guys. It's fun. I'm a collaboration person though, and so you got to know, it's like I said, you got to know what sparks you, right? I mean, there's definitely going to be those personalities where the idea of as much collaboration as I do on the daily is like asphyxiating, too much, right? It's like, that sounds like my nightmare. So you have to know what feeds you and what you're cut for, and lean into it. But, somebody had given me the advice more recently, which I thought was really cool, is, when you get to those points, because we all do that, like we'll all hit those burnout points where we're just running really, really hard. And, we lose steam, we lose the energy to keep doing whatever it is that we're doing. And so the advice was, you have to show up like it's your favorite thing in the world. You know what I mean? Like you have to kind of put that energy and that face into it. And it starts to turn it. It really does. If you're always looking for the parts that are wrong with your career or your firm or the people that you're working with, you're going to see it. You're going to see it and you're going to notice more and more of it. But if you're always looking for the things that are right, that do fuel you, the things people are doing that really are awesome, the things that your firm does that, really support you and give you that, safety net behind you as you're growing, you're going to see that. And you're going to see more and more of that. So it's a momentum shift. Yeah. You have to.
It's a mindset.
It is.
Yeah. When you're burnt out, it can be very negative, and then you just start to spiral in just the negative thoughts all the time. And there is no perfect firm, perfect company, perfect project. It doesn't exist.
Nope. Don't try to find it.
Because you won't. And so every project will have its pros, cons, fun times, challenges. But definitely staying on the positive can help you at least get out of burnout if anybody is burned out right now.
Oh, for sure. I know that. Yeah. There's a few out there. I know it.
There's always.
Because we all have to be in that place sometimes. You know, this is, our industry moves quickly. It really does. It's not like we have an off season.
No, we're always on.
Always.
Yeah.
We're always creating something.
From an organization standpoint, has there been an organization that's left a really big impact on your journey, or an organization that's really impactful for lighting designers or lighting specialists?
Well, I would say lighting designer specifically, and me, of course, coming from where I come from, there is an organization called WILD, Women in Lighting Design. And we don't have a Pittsburgh chapter here, but there are some very active, very wonderful chapters around the country. That is a fantastic organization to just, just meet like-minded people who are on those same career paths as you, if you're a lighting design professional. Of course, locally, I like to work with, AIA in the architectural world, IIDA and ASID in the interior design world, and then of course IES in the electrical engineering side of things. And it's just, those different organizations are just great groups to pull the pods of people and support them.
And very diverse, because you've got a little bit of the architects, the interior designers, the engineers, and then you're more specialists too. I always find sometimes architects, interiors, and engineers kind of stay in their lanes with organizations. Yes. And I feel like we need to cross-collaborate more.
Oh, totally. If there was like more of a cross-pollination thing, that would be
and get the owners fantastic. In there and just get everybody together, because that's how we are on projects. So need more of the bigger organizations to start collaborating with each other rather than having their own little siloed events.
Exactly. And I'm sure you agree, those projects where you've got a team that's willing to just like come together and throw things back and forth. I mean, those are the projects that really, they get off the ground, they stay off the ground.
Yeah.
So,
and it's always the people. Like, I know you talked about discovering lighting. I discovered my passion's always the people side, regardless if it's the users or my team. And that's kind of how I started mentorDINO, and just kind of discovering what I like about design and educating, mentoring. And it's like, okay, how can I do more of that and just hone in on it?
Exactly. That's it. Yep. Find the things. Find the things that give you energy and do more of it.
Check out the full discussion from this bite of advice here. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you don't miss out on more mentorDINO content.